Morning, this is Chris Tower. I'm with the Lyle Pearson Auto Show and Land Rover Boise. This morning we're going to go across our demonstration track with a Land Rover. It's going to allow us to show some of the capabilities of the modern Land Rover. Let's go to the track. Welcome to the track. We're going to show a couple of different elements on the cars. There's different elements of the car's capability that show as we go across the track. I hope you enjoy the ride. Ready to go?
Ready to go.
So we've engaged one of the terrain response modes. Terrain response is one of the things that makes Land Rover vehicles unique. It brings different software packages into the vehicle where the driver can make decisions on how they want the car to perform based on basically what we're seeing through the windshield. So if you're seeing snow blowing across an icy highway, you're going to select the terrain response mode called grass, gravel, and snow that corresponds to that weather condition, that driving condition. There are other programs for driving on trails in the woods, for driving on sand. In this case today, we're going to use the rock crawl program because we're going rock crawling. So as we approach the track, we can see on the center display kind of what's going on with the drivetrain. The center differential has locked. That's the orange circle here. And we can see that the suspension is pretty heavily articulated. Land Rover vehicles have a lot of suspension travel. Helps them ride really beautifully on the highway, but also allows the vehicle to maintain traction when the going gets difficult. One of the first obstacles we encounter are the rollers. They're embedded in the track right in front of the car. The left front tire is going to roll across those rollers, and it's going to lose traction completely because those turn freely. That's a difficult thing for an all-wheel drive system to deal with. In a lot of cars, you just get a lot of wheel spin, and the car would actually send power to the wrong wheels. So in the Land Rover, it's going to respond to that, allow us to maintain control. This is, could be an icy spot on a driveway, it could be a loose rock on a trail you're trying to climb. But here we are with that front wheel on those rollers. I can actually take my feet off the brake, and the car is just holding itself. It knows to do that based on the program that we're using. So when we're ready, we'll continue ahead. Just a little bit of pressure on the throttle. We'll keep even pressure here. Let the car do the work. And you can see we crossed that little obstacle without any loss of momentum. So here's probably the most dramatic element of the track. It's the side slope. It's about 27%. So why does this matter, you wonder? Well, Land Rover vehicles are very comfortable cars. They ride really well, much better than the typical SUV. A lot of the reason for that is they have a lower center of gravity. Here's a really dramatic illustration of how stable the car is. Even with a full load of passengers, we're nowhere near the limits of the vehicle stability. Even though to everybody in the car it feels really weird. This is way beyond what most people would try if they didn't understand the capabilities of the vehicle. So across the side slope part of the track without any trouble at all. Next element here, we've all seen videos in the winter of people sliding out of control down icy streets in the west, and particularly in the northwest. Part of the traction control system in the Land Rover is hill descent control, and it's fully adaptive, so it knows to take us down these slopes at different speeds depending on, again, the terrain response mode we've selected. We can even adjust that speed with the cruise control button. But once we start down the hill, I'm going to take my feet off the brake completely, and everything you see from that point down to the bottom of the slope, the car is doing on its own. So we're just kind of along for the ride, and we let the car do the hard work. So here we go. Selective braking, individual wheels, throttle modulation if necessary. Brings us down gently. Return to flat ground under control. Here we are back on flat ground. I hope you enjoyed the ride. Just a little insight into what makes the Land Rover vehicle special. Even as the performance and the luxury is improved, Land Rover hasn't sacrificed that capability that makes us feel good driving the cars when the weather turns bad and the road turns difficult. So look forward to seeing you out there.